Dust clouds rising, lineups posted, shades on, lawn chairs, parents posted, seeds in the cheek, dreams in the dirt, cleats in the cage, stains on the shirt. This ain't no highlight reel or fast takes, just game talk, raw cuts and grass stains. From the backfields to the big dreams, we're talking shop with the real teams. It's Spittin Seeds powered by cold weather bats, where the story's alive and the culture's intact. So zip up the bag, lace up the spikes, and settle in. We're on the mic.
All right, what is up, everybody? Welcome back to Spittin Seeds, episode 3. We are glad you're here. I'm Michael Rubenstein, joined as always by Nick Swanson. If you are joining us for our third episode, you just saw something new, our little intro music and video. So shout out to everyone inside of our team that's been able to help get us ready to go.
Yeah, I mean, that was pretty cool. No, it's good to be back. Appreciate everyone tuning in again. A big welcome to our new listeners hopping on board this week. I think we're building something cool here, obviously, with the intro music and stuff that we have going on. Means a lot that you guys are a part of it.
Absolutely. And quick shout out before we get rolling. Cold Weather Bats is the name behind the podcast with our Spittin Seeds podcast here. If you don't already, be sure to go follow us on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, YouTube, Facebook, all of our social medias. All of those are now, if you're watching us on YouTube, all those are on your screen right now.
Yeah, and if you really want to support what we're doing, get access to exclusive breakdowns, extra content. We're gonna start doing drill videos, deeper conversations that we're gonna have. You got to check out our Patreon. That's over. Did you attach it? There we go. Bada boom, bada bang. Check us out at patreon.com/coldweatherbats. A lot of exclusive content. We're excited for what's going to happen.
We've got a few different membership tiers that you can see when you go onto our website there, but even at the base level, you're going to get the access that you're really looking for. We're rolling out a new thing that we started this past week, a weekly Tip Tuesday video. We are going to have extended podcast breakdowns. Our Super 25s are going to be on there. Our Game of the Week previews and recaps are all on there. Player development tools that we have rolled out the last couple Mondays. We are really getting now into the summer baseball realm of the year, and we are rolling out a weekly post every single Monday to really help not only those athletes, but those families and coaches prepare for the summer ahead.
Yeah, and if you're a parent, coach, or player who's trying to find, really clarity in all the chaos that's happening with youth and high school baseball, that is where we bring the value with the Patreon posts, with what we're going to talk about, and more to come.
So again, hit us up on all the socials at Cold Weather Bats. You see right there on your screen, and check out the Patreon if you have not already.
Love it. All right. We are going to break down today's episode. We're talking about cold weather struggles in high school baseball. Obviously, it was freezing last week on a couple of days. The vibes that we've had from the youth tournament that we went to, the U-Trip Spring Kickoff. And then I got an awesome rant of the week for this week. And then we'll be wrapping up with a little Masters talk and how it weirdly connects to baseball.
Let's kick off with the weekly check-in. We'll start with the Michigan High School Baseball. Obviously, as everyone knows, Nick is a high school baseball coach. Nick, how did things go this past week with Cranbrook?
Good. We had a good weekend. I want to say we won 5 games in a row. So the Cranes are hot. Obviously, we had to deal a lot with, the weather bug, we'll call it. Tuesday, I want to say it was 20 degrees with the wind chill. So that was fun to be a part of. Also got kicked out on Saturday. It happens. Everyone gets tossed. So yeah, other than that, great week. Cranes are hot and we're doing well.
Yeah, it's definitely fun with the weather right now. I know talking with all of our games of the week participants we've had thus far, every coach, every player has just had the same mindset of this cold weather has really it's been a fun year to say the least. And that's said, in a joking manner. This weather has been interesting. The cold, the snow, the rain, the wind. The wind's been really bad. So a lot of schools and games have been canceled. I mean, I know we've been doing our Super 25 and looking at how some of these schools have barely gotten in any games compared to others. It's interesting across the state.
Yeah, I mean, like I'll give you an example. Like the Tuesday game that we had, I had to take one of our players out of the game because it was so cold and their fingers like tightened up. like they physically couldn't like straighten their fingers out. So I mean, it's tough, right? And then obviously we talked about the rain, depending on what field you're playing at, whether the wind's blowing in, whether the wind's blowing out. It changes your gameplay. It affects pitchers. It affects the hitters. There's a lot going on, right? The cold weather sucks, but that's why we live in Michigan.
Well, I think that's part of what really makes Michigan baseball players gritty.
100%.
They come out of this stuff tougher, but it's also why the development really matters. It matters so much. You can't waste the reps when your outdoor time is limited. I know talking with Coach Majera at Rochester last week, they've barely had any outdoor practices. And we are now, 3 weeks into April? And that's just how it is. I mean, you have all these games you have to get in. What's the amount of games you're supposed to have in a season?
38 is your max. And I know, speaking of games getting in, like Grand Blanca, pretty sure played their first game outside last week, which is insane to think about.
Yeah. It's just really crazy. I mean, it's just crazy overall. So really for any parents or coaches listening, whether it's high school or youth, let's give our guys some grace right now if they're not lighting it up this early. The weather is a huge factor. I mean, they're all playing in it, but it really is a huge factor.
Oh, 100%. And you go back to the gritty part. I think there's a reason why, like, your Nolan Schuberts and your Jaron Purifies, like, why they succeed down south, because they've been through, the grind, the grit, right? Biting kneecaps off from Coach Campbell. Like, we've all been there. So I think it's cool seeing guys kind of work through the cold weather and seeing it succeed past high school baseball.
Yeah. And in high school baseball side, looking at the youth side, I know a lot of travel baseball teams have been trying to really get out there and play tournaments already. I received so many emails from tournament directors for all my teams in tournaments this past week, where games have been pushed back, days have been canceled, fields have been rained out. We had fields last week that were snowed out. So it's, the soggy fields, frozen hands. I mean, these are things that we have to deal with here that a lot of other states don't have to.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I think we played at Cass Tech the other day, and the whole sides of the infield, right, we're still super soggy. It's muddy. You get the mud in the cleats. It affects how you pitch. It affects how you run. Like, there's a lot of factors, and that people outside of the state of Michigan probably don't see as much of that effect, but it's effective. And I'm not here making excuses, but like, it does affect the game, and you got to know how to overcome that to be successful on the field.
Yeah, I mean, for you as a high school coach, is there anything that, I guess as a coach in general, is there anything that you think you do differently, whether it's prep or in-game coaching when the weather is colder?
Yeah, I mean, like, especially nowadays, like it's all about like driving the ball, right? You got to drive the ball in the gaps, got to put it over the fence, got to, get guys in. I think when it comes to that cold weather, I think your game plan kind of changes to, hey, we're focusing on hitting line drives. We're trying to play small ball, right? Whether it's bunting, whether it's hit and runs, whether it fake bunt steals, something to get the game kind of back into your favor. The coaches that I believe that can do that well and can adjust on a fly are the ones that, continue to be successful in the state of Michigan for high school baseball. And
that's really the thing too, is whether you're a high school or a travel baseball coach, being able to adjust not only to, the team in the other dugout, but the factors you have with whether it's the weather, the field conditions, whatever it might be. And that's really, if you're a summer baseball coach, that's what gets you out of pool play, being able to recognize things like that. And, if your team, take weather out of it, if you have a pitcher that is living on the outside corner, having your team flip their approach, we'll dive more into that as we have future podcasts and with our Patreon as well. But being able to coach on the fly. The coaches and players that are able to make those adjustments, those are the ones that are always just going to be more successful. So I know we're kind of shifting now in this segment here from a little bit from high school to youth. Let's continue that and dive a little more into the youth here. Us Cold Weather Bats, we were out last week at the USSSA Spring Kickoff tournament in Canton. Weather was interesting, to say the least. I think we had a lot of people think they were funny coming up to our table and saying cold weather bats, just like the weather today. So very much a cold day. It's part of the love of playing in Michigan, right? It's just, seeing all these kids outside. These kids were running around in t-shirts and their baseball pants while we're all bundled up in parkas and freezing our butts off. So being able to see everyone out there, it was fun. It was fun, definitely, getting out there and getting to see everybody.
Yeah, I mean, it was awesome seeing, a lot of the coaches that we grew up, whether it was we played underneath them or they helped us kind of get to where we are today. It was kind of nice seeing those guys. I'm pretty sure games got, rescheduled a lot. I think there was like hour and 20 minutes, I think. So a lot of baseball that needed to get in very quickly. So it was nice kind of seeing guys, hey, we got to be aggressive. We got to change our approaches, especially with the cold weather, So it was kind of interesting to see how all that unfolded.
The biggest thing, too, was very easy to see, not to call out new travel baseball parents, but it was very easy to see which ones were the new ones because they showed up either unprepared with no warm gear, or you could see them getting physically, flustered with how much schedule changes there were. So if you're a travel baseball parent watching or listening, this is how it is this early in the season. These schedules change on not even a daily basis, but an hourly basis. And it's, shout out to all these tournament directors. They're all doing a fantastic job being able to get all of these games in as much as possible, because at the end of the day, we just want to see these kids and these, athletes playing baseball.
Yeah. And biggest advice, expect the unexpected. That's the best advice I can give for all parents, coaches, all those guys out there playing in cold weather. You got to expect the unexpected.
You do. And that kind of leads us a little bit into what our very first Patreon post was for the development side of things. So again, if you haven't subscribed or visited our Patreon previously, it's on your screen now. If you're watching, if you are listening on any of your, wherever you get your podcasts, it's www.patreon.com/coldweatherbats. Our very first one that we feel that is a really good tone setter. Really talks about how more games is not the equivalent to more development. And really what that means is, unless there is a plan, playing the more games just isn't going to, make sure that your athlete is getting better. At the end of the day, yes, you want your child to play as much baseball as possible, but if there's no plan behind it, it's just not going to be as successful. So with that, parents, you are the one to set the tone, and that means quite a bit of different things, from being able to have your child mentally and physically locked in the car ride to the field, to making sure that they understand if you go over 4, it's not the end of the world. Really, we dive into this and a heck of a lot more on our Patreon. We have quite a bit of content coming that we are very excited about to share. So if you are out there, again, as a parent, as a player, as a coach, looking to really expand your knowledge, we've talked with a lot of experts. We have a lot of experts that we'll be having coming on our show in the future. Be sure to, again, check out our Patreon at Cold Weather Bats for all of these information and then some. Today, we just released our tournament ready, fueling your body and mind for game day. Don't want to tease it too much. We will talk more about it next week in our next podcast, but to see that one again, be sure to visit our Patreon. And Tip Tuesday, again, is a new thing that we have rolled out. Nick, our very first one that we collaborated on, really, as you as a hitting instructor, I know this is something that you and I both stress is hitting with balance. Really, balance does equal better swings, and it's really the base of every swing.
Yeah, and I think a lot of it, especially with the youth ages, like a lot of guys tend to get out on their front side, or they shift way too much on their backside, and we're either creating this massive launch angle or we're creating this massive angle down to the baseball where they hit a lot of ground balls. Balance is one of the most important parts of hitting, in my opinion. And I think, with this tip, what we're going to go over and how we kind of phrase it, I'll put it that way. Obviously, a lot of coaches say different things. So we're hoping, maybe our words or someone else says it something differently it can affect, what you view as balance in the hitting swing. There's no secret anymore. Like, we have the Yankees in every year. Cody Bellinger was in a couple weeks ago. Aaron Judge comes in every year. It's interesting hearing those guys talk about getting off their A swing, is what they like to say. Right. So a lot of these kids, I feel like they miss a ball, right? Or they strike out on a swing that they thought they felt good on, and it's quickly like, what did I do wrong? And I think an important thing that Aaron and Cody were talking about was getting off your A swing. If you continue to get off your A swing, it's okay to swing and miss. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. That's going to happen. And I think with that mindset, if you can continue to get off your A swing, like, it's going to work out in your favor in the long run, plain and simple. So that is my big take from just youth baseball, high school baseball, college baseball. Continue to get your A swing off. That is what matters, especially when we're talking about balance or any other thing that we want to talk about within the swing.
And really, we are going to have these tips from people that are interacting with these major leaguers on a regular basis. So again, be sure to check out our Patreon for all of that information. That really now leads us into, it's going to quickly become my favorite segment, and I'm very excited about this one. It is our rant of the week. And I'm just going to turn the floor over to you here, Nick. You have a very good one here.
I've seen this quite a few times over the last couple of weeks. My rant of the week is going to be on bunting. Now, I know there's a lot of different, you could go one way and say there's too much bunting or there's not enough. In my opinion, there's not enough bunting. Plain and simple, the lack of ability across baseball, youth, high school, college, whatever it is, it's flat out embarrassing how many players don't know how to lay down a basic bunt. It is actually insane to me. I had a kid actually the other day who actually came in. He was 16 years old. This is my third hitting lessons with him. And we get loose before our rounds, right? So we were on hack attack day. So we're doing hack attacks, and I'm like, all right, let's bunt the first three. I like to do that with all of our players. Take a bunt down third baseline, take a bunt down first baseline, and then let's do a push bunt. He actually had no idea how to bunt, and literally said to me the other day, he has never bunted in his entire life. Now, I find that absolutely insane. I don't care if you're the largest human being in the world. I don't care if you're the smallest human being in the world. I don't care if you're Aaron Judge. I don't care if you are Cody Bellinger. It doesn't matter. Those guys know how to bunt. And if it came down to it, they would get a bunt down. Off of that, I don't understand how in the world of 2025, we do not understand how to angle the ball within bunts, how to stay balanced. It's not like this is a hidden art of the 1800s. It's bunting. It's baseball 101. You learn it in T-ball. You learn it all the way up. This should be a very basic thing to get done. Now, don't get me wrong. There are some bunts. Bunt for hits, a push bunt, a squeeze, that kind of stuff we can talk about. But a normal bunt, sacrifice bunt, we don't understand what's going on. Everyone wants to hit tanks nowadays, and I understand that. We're chasing exit velocity numbers, launch angle, the TikTok clips of the nukes. But what is situational baseball? What happened to be able to move a runner from first to second, get them in scoring position, have the guy who's your 3, 4, or 5 hitter step up, get a base hit, and make it happen. Anybody that watched Tigers game the other day, they went into extras. The Royals, guy on second base. You start off with a guy on second base in extra innings now. Guy on second base. We had a hard hit ball to the right side. Got him over. Bobby Witt was up. Hit a ball left field. Scored him in 4-3. Tigers, same situation. We go strikeout, weak ground ball, strikeout. What are we doing? What are we doing? I don't understand it. Are we trying to win? Or are we just trying to make clips for TikTok? That's the question.
I mean,
Frustrating.
it is frustrating. And that aside, I mean, here's a great example of knowing how to bunt. You and I both know Brady Birchmeyer. We've brought his name up prior.
Yep.
We are playing down in the BCS against the Sticks national team. The kid started the game he's going to, I think it was either Tennessee or Arkansas, lefty throwing 93, the 17U. Very first at bat for Brady, he gets hit in the elbow. Of course, did not have his elbow guard on the one time in the entire season. He did not. Unfortunately, couldn't take him out. I could not physically take him out of the game. So what does he do the rest of his at-bats? He's up there bunting. And for what was one of my best hitters on my team next to Nolan Schubert, Brady Krzyzuk, both guys are also playing Division I baseball. Brady's up there batting third, getting bunts down, getting guys around. So it's something that if you're a baseball team and you say our team doesn't play small ball, I basically am going to sit there right then and there and say I'm just going to beat you because my team knows how to do the small things. That's what a good baseball team knows how to do. They're not up there just trying to hit the ball over or off the fence or over the left fielder or right fielder's head. They know situationally where to hit the ball. It's not that complex. And when these kids do get to high school, if they're a freshman or sophomore, these are what gets you onto the field on varsity. If you aren't as big and strong as the juniors and seniors doing those types of things. So that's definitely a very good one. And that is this episode's rant of the week. Very good. We'll have to see what we can top it with our next episode. This now leads us into a bonus segment. As everyone knows, I believe everyone knows, the Masters was a week and a half ago, and Rory McIlroy finally got over the hump and got his Grand Slam, which who the heck knew if that was ever going to happen or not. Yeah. But what we want to kind of do is gear this topic a little bit towards baseball. So, yes, it was a wild week at Augusta. You have players that are falling on their clubs, figuratively, because the stress, the mental side of things of golf is very intense. That is the exact same thing in baseball. The mental game similarities is it's very similar. It's a very calculated game on both sides, whether it's hitting, pitching, fielding, comparatively to golf. The swing mechanics is similar to an extent as well. But more than anything, it's the ability to handle the pressure. Being able to hit a good shot over the water and, put it on the green. Whether it's you're facing a righty throwing 92 going to Tennessee, for example. Being able to handle that type of pressure is really what separates you from a top 5 finish versus winning versus missing the cut in a PGA event versus starting or not for your baseball team.
I'll take it a different route. I think let's talk about late in games, right? Rory obviously had his ups and downs, but then at the very end, he ended up executing when it mattered, right? And I think that's very telling when it comes to baseball. Some people have those innings, right? We talk about the crooked numbers. All right, you give up a crooked number, how do you respond? And I think Rory did a very good job responding, especially after the double bogey. Even that last putt to win it all, he missed it, went to playoffs, didn't let that phase him, and ended up winning the tournament. I think it's very, very similar to a baseball game when you have those ups and downs. Even when you have a series, a lot of these high school teams, we play 3-game series, right? And usually that third day is the big day. Who's going to take the series? You win every series, you're going to win your league. So I think it's very equivalent to that.
It definitely is. And now let's talk Augusta. You have the ability where if you are able to win the lottery, which fingers crossed, maybe me speaking this out into the world, it's going to allow me to finally win the lottery. You have to be selected to go. It's a very, unique experience if you are able to get to attend. What is the Augusta National in your mind of youth baseball?
So I think the holy grail, and I will say this till the day I die, we are staying in Georgia at the Lake Point complex. I don't think you can get a better complex, a better feel for, a tournament type setting, sponsors, equipment, competition. It is the best of the best. I don't think you can get anything better. Everything's live streamed. It's all turf. It's top of the notch. I think a close second to me would probably be East Cobb Complex, also in Georgia. Kind of weird correlation where all the nicer fields are in Georgia. They got to figure it out. I think if we're talking Augusta, those would be my two hot picks.
We've talked about this, tournaments in the past. You'll have those random fields in Bowling Green for Black Swamp where, you're driving through cornfields and bam, field looks like a minor league field in the middle of nowhere. I don't know how they have it down there. It's fantastic. Here's a unique one for you, and I'll stay in the state of Michigan.
Okay.
Coldwater High School, playing under the lights. We've both done it for whatever regionals that is. Being able to play on that field with, how you have the tree lined all behind the outfield fence, the stands. It's a well put together high school baseball field. But again, if I want to go out of state, I'm talking all of those fields in the Fort Myers area. Can't beat it. The spring training complexes for all of those perfect game events. You really you can't beat those either. Those fields are like a golf course.
Yeah,
it's to an extent where I feel like I'm taking a divot out if I, move my turf shoe the wrong way, and I'm gonna have someone come yell at me. Some good ones for sure. So to kind of go back a little bit, so you have the similarities in golf and baseball. Both sports are sports that are going to teach patience, right? Yeah. Patience, discipline, and really feel. As someone as well, we both golf. We both have played baseball. How for you has your play growing up with baseball now translated into how you are able to golf?
I think it actually has a lot to do with, how you get frustrated. We'll take it from a coach's perspective first. Back when I first started coaching, I would get super frustrated at, not executing certain signs or not executing when it mattered late in the ball game. And I think, back in the day when I played golf too, when I was at, I would slam my club down or I would chuck my club across the grass. That's just kind of what happens, right? And now as you grow and as you kind of learn how to deal with, hey, some things might not work out that way. Sometimes we can't execute and we got to do something different. I think that really correlates nowadays. We're not that upset anymore. Game has kind of changed. We've gotten better. I continue to execute, and now we're not getting frustrated anymore. Now we're finding a way. Hey, when I hit it in the, I hit it in the woods, I can find a way to chip it out, put it up on the green, continue to make a par, bogey, double bogey, whatever it is, and I still feel good about myself. So I think that correlates a lot to that. Even on the baseball field, can't execute when 3-4 years ago. You look at it nowadays, we've worked on it for 3 or 4 years now, and now we can execute it in any situation at any given time.
All right, and that is a wrap on episode 3 of Spittin Seeds presented by Cold Weather Bats. Thank you for spending a little bit of time with us this week, whether you're driving to practice, raking the infield, or really just getting your baseball fix. We appreciate you for tuning in. First, we'd like to thank USSSA for allowing us to come on out to the spring kickoff. If you are a tournament director who is interested in having Cold Weather Bats at your tournament, whether to cover, promote, or have a live show, please do not hesitate to reach out. Big thank you to our Patreon supporters. Your backing helps us keep this show going and allows us to dig deeper into the content you care about. If you haven't checked it out yet, head over to patreon.com/coldweatherbats. We just dropped a new post breaking down the idea that more games doesn't always mean more development, especially if there's no plan behind it. It's a conversation that every parent, every coach, and every player really does need to hear. Today, we hit on a lot: the challenges of early season baseball in Michigan, the energy coming out of youth tournaments, and how important something as simple as balance is to a good swing. Nick brought the heat with his bunting rant, and we finished off with a little talk on the Masters and youth baseball. Honestly, one of our favorite segments we've done thus far. Before we go, if you're enjoying the podcast, do us a favor. Subscribe, leave a rating, and share it with a friend, a teammate, a parent, or really anyone else who lives and breathes this amazing game. Every bit of support helps us keep building this thing. And if you haven't yet, please check out our website at www.coldweatherbats.com, where we have all of our podcasts, our rankings, our articles, and even our official Cold Weather Bats gear store with our gear partner, G Brand. And next week, we've got something in the works that you will not want to miss. Maybe even a special guest is going to be joining us. Until then, stay warm out there, stay sharp, and as always, keep playing the game the right way. This is Spittin Seeds. Catch you next time.